Hi there, Gemini. Welcome to your monthly reading. This is for the month of November, and it's fantastic to see everyone again. As you know, I had a really difficult October, suffered some injuries, took some time off to get better. Thank you so much for allowing me to do these videos a little bit later. I wanted to make sure the quality was good and that I was of sound mind, body, and spirit while I did them. So with that being said, let's get into the business of November. I'd like to start off by reminding you that your video here can be used for sun, rising, and moon. If you don't know those, stick with your birth sign, aka your sun sign. That'll give you the information that you need. Also, if you like what you see here, feel free to give back. I have two ways to do so. You can join me on Patreon, or you can donate through my website. I'll go ahead and put some information right here at the bottom of the video. And of course, if this isn't something that you can do or you don't feel inspired to do, you can still make a difference by liking, subscribing, and also sharing this video. And that is a great way to sort of allow this message to reach more people. So you can do that across the different social media platforms you might be on. Now, every month as I get started reading for each sign, I pick a deck of cards, I meditate, and I engage in some automatic writing to see what comes through. This helps me get what I call the channeled message. So what I saw was this idea of growth, like a seed starting to sprout. So the first message is one of renewal. If there was anything in your life that was stagnating or not quite working the way that you wanted it to, what I'm seeing this month is a chance to have a breakthrough or see some movement. Remember that seeds grow slowly sometimes. They take root and you might only see a little bit pop up, and then all of a sudden there's a spurt of growth. What I'm seeing this month is that breakthrough period for some of you. So continue to feed that idea, that dream, whatever that energy is that you're trying to cultivate, and know that it takes time, but you should see some movement. The other thing is that I got this feeling of a second chance or an opportunity to do something better. So don't be afraid to go back and try something again. That persistence will pay off as well. So perseverance and persistence equaling renewal and second chances. That's sort of what this month is about for you. Now let's get into the general part of the reading. As you know, I separate this into three parts. We did the channeled information, then I'll look at the general, and then I expand it to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. At this point, I'm going to be quiet just so that we can observe together the way the cards are being laid out, and also so that I can receive information. So I will rejoin you right after I have set out the Celtic cross. In addition to the spread here, I like to pull an extra card. This card is what I refer to actually as the catalyst. And for the catalyst, this will show a way for you to see a connective thread between everything that's in front of us. Also, how to embrace the positive aspects of the month, maybe avoid any potential pitfalls. Your catalyst message for this month is all about intuition, particularly foresight and paying attention to all the little things going on. This card was reversed. We'll talk about that in a second. But when I look at tea leaves, the main thing that I'm seeing is take time to savor, to appreciate, to enjoy, also to interpret everything that's coming your way. Positive, negative, and in between. And really there is no negative, there's just challenging sometimes. So what are you learning with everything day by day and experience by experience? So often we get distracted and move forward and don't take time to savor. So this card is saying, as you savor, as you appreciate, as you analyze, this is when you're going to get those sparks of intuition. They may be small, but as the month progresses, you're going to get this big picture, this big puzzle piece that comes together. Let's go ahead now and take a look at each message and unpackage the larger picture for this month. Your central card is Nine of Stones, otherwise known as Pentacles. I like that this is illustrated with stones in this deck because it's reminding you to stay connected to your resources. This is by and large a very positive sign when it comes to your resources because it's one that indicates sustainability. If you were to look in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you would see a bush or a tree that was literally growing money. This one is showing you that you've created something that's sustainable. You have building blocks, if you will, but I'm intrigued by the fact that this person's walking away. I would say there's a general warning this month to not lose either a connection or the sort of realistic view of what your resources are. Also, if we go back to the Rider-Waite card, which is that growing sort of tree or bush, you need to nurture and continue to feed whatever it is that's brought you to this point. So by continuing to sustain that which has brought you this far, it will continue to support you. You have to have its back, it'll have your back. So whether that's friends, family, work, whatever you've been putting the energy into, your work isn't complete just yet. You're close to completion, and it may be something that by month's end is done or by the end of this year is done, but there's a little more work to be done, and that's what this card is saying. In fact, right over top of it, we have the Five of Spirals or the Five of Wands. It's interesting that spirals are used in this deck too, because sometimes with wands, whether it's thoughts or actions, we can kind of work ourselves into a circle. And with this particular illustration, even though we see a dragon here, I think of Five of Wands in my head as sort of being surrounded by a forest. We see like a cave or some mountains here. What happens sometimes is you get in the middle of a thicket and you can't see out, and you're busy working, but you don't understand why you're working so hard. So with this dragon kind of flying up above the thicket or above the mountains, it's able to get a bird's eye view or a dragon's eye view here. And this month, I think that's going to be really important for you, is to realize, why again am I doing this? Ground yourself in your purpose. And once you've done that, then it's going to be a lot easier to stick with it and to not neglect whatever it is that's given you this newfound independence or this feeling that you're treading towards something bigger. Looking at those building blocks that we were talking about, as I'm glancing towards your deep past, it looks like a lot of you have done some work on integration and also on higher learning. This doesn't necessarily have to include like getting a degree or a certificate or any sort of training. It can just be an internal sort of analysis of all your life's experiences. So take advantage of this growth spurt that I'm seeing for many of you. And it can be spiritual or it can be intellectual, but Eight of Stones, Eight of Pentacles, really, really good, especially when combined with the Nine of Pentacles. So I'm seeing that you've got a great foundation from which to build this month, embrace it, and continue to nurture it. This is a good month for partnership in all forms, whether it's friendships, business alliances, new love, or an enriching or a deepening of an existing relationship. This is coming through in recent past, which, as I look at a month spread, is sort of coloring the first week or two of the month. Really strong time to build upon, heal, and grow those alliances. Don't let go of them. Know that you can find a happy way of coming to resolving a dispute or whatever. I feel like this is a very good and favorable month for those sorts of things. Also, if you're trying to sell or present something, people are more likely to listen and or receive the messages that you're putting forth into the universe. After you've done that, after you've worked through some of the relationship issues that might be popping up at the beginning of the month, what you receive at that point is a reminder here to not lose your momentum. Your crowning card here is the Two of Scrolls, aka the Two of Swords, but unlike a traditional illustration that shows someone blindfolded and uncertain of which path to choose, this is showing that you might actually be able to get a couple of projects or a couple of paths underway this month. The important thing is to keep up with the momentum and to not let other people drag you down. Those scrolls to me indicate small details, words, actions, thoughts. Sometimes that can cause friction and slow things to a halt. Your job this month, whether you're managing or you're someone that's helping someone get something done, is to move away any of the blocks that might be coming through, push them to the side and say, let's get through this. We can always work out some of these small details later. So keep up with the momentum. If you do this, it's going to pay off. Your ego this month is illustrated by the Two of Spirals, aka the Two of Wands. So once you can move through some of this, there's going to be ample time for planning and for a larger sort of dreaming and brainstorming later in the month. And this is something that for you is going to be very fruitful. The Two of Spirals or the Two of Wands for me indicates something where you start to look at your next 2, 3, 4 years and figure out, what is my long-term goal? What am I really trying to do? So often we just sort of like show up to work and, get paid and then take care of our family obligations and go to sleep, and we just rinse and repeat this cycle until it's kind of like we've been in the washer and we just get worn out. And so what I want you to do this month is get through your obligations and then make sure that you're taking time, getting back into our catalyst card, to meditate and to pay attention and to forecast. That's it. We have foresight. It's also about forecasting this month. So I want you to start to figure out, what is the big purpose? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Because then everything else will start to line up and support that path. As we look into the near future, we have Temperance here, the golden flower. And for me, this is almost like a card that is a key to how to be successful this month. And this is by not going to extremes. And there's a lot going on, and what you want to be is sort of that keystone or the glue or the cohesive element that allows for everything to flow this month. And as long as you do that, the whole idea of things continuing to grow, continuing to be that productive and sustaining center card, the Nine of Stones, that's going to continue. So stay calm, stay even, try not to rock the boat, and try instead to focus on momentum, on clarity, on decisiveness. This is going to be what will not only bring you success, but also sort of transmute, since that's one of the elements of power that you have this month, but it's going to transmute what's around you. So stay calm, be that keystone, that strong foundation that other people are looking for, and be their inspiration. There's a lot of leadership opportunity for you this month. Now, we already touched upon the Two of Spirals, the Two of Wands, but as I'm looking at this, there is another piece of information that comes through, and it marries up nicely with the Lovers card here. With this, I'm actually seeing the ability to make space or room for more than you currently have in your life, making room for another person. So for some of you, this could be opening up a spot in your business. For the rest of you, this could actually be about a symbolic opening, especially for those of you that are seeking love, that may not be in a relationship. This is about making room in your schedule, in your house, in your attitude, in your way of thinking for more than one. And it starts with that ability for you to sort of like just entertain the possibility of more than one. So there's that. The other thing is, I want you to think beyond your current situation. So taking out the whole idea of partnership, this is about you not only putting all of your eggs in one basket or one nest in this respect. So as we look at the Nine of Stones, and I'm looking forward at the outcome, which is the Six of Stones, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, what's important for you is diversification, specifically of your resources. And even though this is spirals and not pentacles, it's still about what goes into those baskets. So if you have a current job, what's the future? What's your training for the future? We looked at the Eight of Pentacles in the past. Are there other training opportunities or enrichment opportunities that you can do to continue to make yourself not only happy, but a viable person to enter into a new job market or something else? You always want to be thinking 5 years, 10 years down the road, so that you're not sort of caught unaware. So this card is not just about planning for the next couple years, planning for love, planning for business, but it's the big thing of, what else can I be doing in this life, and what am I going to do after what I'm doing right now? So you don't have to panic because you have plenty of time, but it's good to start thinking right now and plant the seeds. In your environment this month, we have a reimagined version of the Fool here, Merlin. And what I see with this is that it's really important for you to be able to take a chance on yourself, knowing that this card kind of embodies 2 or 3 cards together here, the Magician and also the High Priest, and I would also say the Fool. It's a very interesting card. So what I'm getting with all 3 of these sort of messages for you is, you might have to step into a role of authority, you may have to take a risk, and you have the ability to make things happen, even if you or others don't understand or believe that. In fact, as we look at hopes, fears, and opportunities, we have Gaia, the Empress here, and this is showing you that the whole theme of this month, if you really embrace the power, is fertility, opportunity, growth. And that's building off what we saw in the middle, that Nine of Stones card. So don't give up, keep working on it, and you're going to get then into a place where you have a lot more control, a lot more ability to manifest, and you're going to end the month on a much stronger note than you started it with. As we look at the final card, the outcome, what we have here is Six of Stones, Six of Pentacles. So we're looking at that, again, themes of growth this month. But with the Six of Pentacles, there's always a choice in how to spend time, energy, and money. And also a reminder that you have enough as long as your decisions are sound. So this month, the final message would be, it's okay to say no. It's okay to set limits. And having sort of a razor focus on what you want to do, that's going to be the deciding factor or the litmus test that you need to sort of make some of these judgment calls. And if you do that, you're going to keep that momentum that we saw in the crowning position, and you'll be able to accomplish what you want this month. Let's go ahead and expand your forecast, and we'll take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Starting off with health, this card focuses on your mind, body, and spirit. We'll give it a shuffle and see what the message is. So taking the lead when it comes to your health. From a personal perspective, this is really speaking about ownership and responsibility. This month, it's important for you to really check in and see if there's anything that you need to work on from a health perspective, whether it's nutrition, whether it's your exercise or whatever. This is a month where you want to really get things started and nurture and honor yourself. This is also a card showing your ability to inspire others. So a sort of subtle or more sort of actions-oriented way that you could get someone to change is by changing your own habits and inspiring them to do the same. So your leadership in health is important. It's going to help heal and to improve your own health, but as a sort of added bonus, your own actions and accomplishments could spur on other people to do the same. Looking now at wealth, here's the message with respect to opportunities, with respect to how you're approaching money and also self-worth this month. So it's a chance for renewal. And this is what I was picking up on in the original sort of channeled information. It says resurrection, surrender to change. This card is particularly reaching out to those of you that have either had a setback, a perceived failure, or some sort of a stumbling block that hasn't allowed you to move as far as you wanted to, or perhaps has put you completely back at the start. The phoenix here always rises above whatever failure or setback it has in its past or in its present. And what you want to do is feel like you have that ability to reinvent, to have that sense of renewal that I was picking up on, and to not allow a past experience to define your present or your future. That's really the powerful central thought of this card is, I am not who I was. I am who I am becoming. And sort of redefine that and attach to your future vision or version of yourself. Take some time to dream and think what that is, and then let that spark to life. Looking now at love, remembering that love is something that you are not only expressing towards another person, you're also feeling towards yourself and offering to the world in general. Love is a currency, and if it's unconditional, it's one that has no end. But let's see what the message is for you. Your message about love this month is really focusing on this sort of dynamics between your own love and feelings of love towards yourself, and then also power dynamics, because we see first chakra, fourth chakra sort of in an interplay this month. And once you feel safe, once you feel secure in who you are and what you're doing, then your ability to react to others and open up to others is going to be improved. The card was reversed, which is showing an sort of an introspective view of sexuality. So becoming at ease with what it is you want, being willing and able to express that with those that you are intimate with, and understanding that there is kindness in the expression and openness of your sexuality. Once you love yourself, that love will be enough to sort of mute or transmute any of the power dynamics that might have been at play. So starting first with acceptance, with happiness, with knowing what you want, with the ability to express that with a sense of love and openness to others, power dynamics should start to break down this month, and there's going to be much more room for heart opening. So it will be less about trying to control a situation and more about understanding and opening up. Another way to sort of sum this up is the word communion, really a coming together of two souls and a reciprocity and a sort of symmetry between the two energies. That's what I see as an opportunity this month when it comes to sexual energy, sexual healing, but it starts within first. Make sense? I hope so. Let's move along to your Destiny card. Destiny is a way to sort of look at your overall path and see if you're happy with the progress. If not, there's always an opportunity for you to course correct. So this is sort of like your GPS. What is your GPS saying this month? It says, detach from the situation. This card is really reminding us that we can't control everything. We can plant the seeds and we can wait for something to grow. We can show up every day. We can continue to work on something. But at a certain point, there is this need to release and to let the universe finish up the work that we've started. And that's what this is saying. Push to a degree, then release, and then focus on the next thing. The card was reversed, which is again showing you that some things are out of your control. All you have to do this month is maintain momentum and maintain that vision of what it is you're trying to achieve. Also say no when and if possible. Doing this is going to allow for everything that's been set up to take its natural course of action. So let's go ahead and review everything, and I think all of this will come into a much more clarified focus for you. Your channeled information this month was focusing on renewal and second chances, themes that we actually saw in the cards, and I'll highlight those in just a moment. Looking at your catalyst this month, a reversed tea leaves, which is saying don't forget to take time to savor each and every moment, because within those moments is insight, is an understanding, are whispers from the universe of what's about to come. So take time, slow down, and appreciate all of that, and you're going to benefit from insights and intuition. A general note that you have what you need this month with respect to resources, and also with kind of the building blocks that you've put in place for integrating your knowledge. You just have to know when to say when, and that's going to be important. Take time to get out of the thicket, to get above a situation, to realize that you can't give up right now. You've worked so far and so hard to get where you're at. There's a lot of support towards the beginning, and I really think this carries out throughout the entire month. So partnership overall is one of the biggest strengths of November for you. Don't let small things pull you back, whether it's a setback or a disagreement or just self-doubt. Move forward, keep the momentum going. This is going to allow you to spend your time and energy instead on planning. You're going to be challenged towards the middle to end of the month to step up and to be much more active in something, perhaps taking on new responsibilities, starting something new for some of you. It could be a new company, etc. Again, your resources are fine, but you are going to have to make some hard choices this month. You can't do everything you want. Try to stay even-tempered throughout this, and this is going to be pivotal in encouraging that growth to continue. Looking at your health, take the lead. Make a decision this month. Move forward and do something strong for yourself. Also inspire others in your life, whether it's a family member, a loved one, or a peer, by your own positive actions. For wealth, it's a time for you to reflect on what hasn't worked and remember that it's not a definition of who you are or who you are about to be. Instead, it's much stronger for you to think, I am going to overcome this and I'm going to be something even better than the sum of my previous experiences. Expression, self-acceptance, and healing within is integral when it comes to sexuality this month. The predominant color here is of the heart space, so knowing that your love for yourself is paramount and it's going to be a healing component. A lot of times when it comes to sexuality, we look for the act of sex or the partners that we choose to be the healing agents when in fact it's all here. And the communion or the connection between you and that other person should be celebrating the love that you already have within. Finally, detaching from something in a healthy way, realizing you've set up all of the parameters necessary for things to be successful, and at a certain point, stepping back and allowing for them to unfold. That is your overall message and series of messages for the month. I hope that this gave you what you needed to successfully navigate all of the challenges that November has in store for you. But things sometimes come up, we get curveballs, and if you ever want to talk about something that's going on and you want a one-on-one session with me, feel free to reach out. If you look below the video, you're going to notice 3 links. The first one is a way for you to connect with me, and it will help you take a look at my rates and availability. So if that's something you want to do, feel free to do so, and I'd love to have a chat with you. If you just want to say thank you and give back to this channel, again, I put some information here at the bottom of the video. You can join me on Patreon or donate through my website. And that goes directly into allowing me to buy new supplies like these, and also just to set aside the calendar time every month that it takes to do these videos out of my work schedule. If you want to do a different way to sort of support me, join me across my social media networks and also share this video with people that you love. To connect with me across all the media that I'm on, social media rather, platforms, click on the third link. And then you can look at my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, newsletter, and anything that I forgot to mention. And I would love to have you join me there. And if you haven't already, of course, like, subscribe, and share this video, please do that. Finally, and most importantly, and this is my favorite part of each video each month, I like to kind of give us a bigger context of why we're here. I mention every month sort of the obvious piece, which is the more that you work on yourself, the better you make your own energy, and in return, the planet starts to get lighter and brighter because your energy is heightened. But this month, what I really see for you is this chance to empower and to move past things. I was really inspired by the Phoenix card. I think that that idea of renewal and transmuting your own energy and experiences is pivotal and core to the experience of November for you. So I want you to see yourself as this eternal being, that we come back to this planet time and time again to learn, relearn, to understand our own energy and other people in our lives so that we can ultimately become beings of love and light. That's the course of action for this particular life and every life. So we get sometimes off path worried about what our title is, what our money is, what people think about us, when it really comes down to the lessons that our soul is trying to learn. Central to that is one of love, sharing that love with others. That's what sexuality is really about. So find a way to love yourself, to move past your experiences in the past that you might not be happy with, and realize that you are stronger, you are eternal, and that your light is only getting brighter by the day. This is what we're here for every month. Wishing you so much love and light on your particular path and journey. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of that growth and that renewal. Wishing you much love and light now and always. I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.